I work by trying to reach backward and forward in time and combine multiple forces or influences when I make a picture. It's important to me that it's a picture that can put myself and the viewer into this state where they can have access to these larger time scales that we're part of. I want the paintings to sort of perform as opposed to represent. We are in my studio in the Dogpatch neighborhood of San Francisco. I make paintings, animation, and installation in kind of a hybrid way by combining different materials, time frames, and subject matter. This body of work is a group of paintings. They are made by combining printed sari fabric, so I'm printing patterns onto the fabric and using it as collage material with painted elements. And then the weave between those two things creates something that's kind of like between maybe a landscape and a portrait. These paintings come out of a project that I did at the De Young Museum where I used the banyan tree as a metaphor for colonial legacy and ecological future and thinking about where we are now through the intersection of those things. The plants and the people and the animals are all sort of woven together and part of the same world, right? So I'm trying to kind of not foreground the human as the most important thing in the picture. And the birds are all extinct species, so I was thinking about how these birds might speak to us or what they might want to say, and I think that if I keep painting them over and over again that they might start to speak. I have almost 14-year-old triplets, and when I was starting to make this work, I was thinking about this idea of motherhood as a form of futurism. Seeing my kids go to these climate marches made me think a lot about the future that we're leaving for them, of course, which I think about anyway, and I decided that that really needed to be in the work as opposed to something that I just leave out because it's personal. So I think a lot about this idea of the future kind of speaking to us through the present, and then at the same time I'm trying to do this really basic job of a painter, which is to make images that express something about the present. And so for me, in order to do that, I need to reach backward and forward in time. I'm taking images from news, a lot of images from the recent kind of uprisings or different kinds of protests around race or climate change or women's issues. I take those images and abstract them to print on the fabric that I'm working with. And when I do that, I'm not saying that this should be something that people can perceive when they look at the work, but that the trace of it is there in the work. We always think when we see an image that we know what we're looking at, and so I want there to be this kind of productive doubt about what we're seeing and what dimension it lives in.